Well, here's take two. I took this yesterday, this headpiece, back over to the machine shop, and kind of got lucky. It was going to be borderline. They put helicoils in there. They didn't know they were going to be able to or not. After we drilled them out, we were talking maybe 1/1000, 2/1000 of an inch. We might have screwed up, taking too much material out to use them helicoils. But you know, they're going to try it if nothing else, and they would have pocketed the bottom side so I could get a bolt in or whatever. They would have figured something out, but lucked out. They had enough meat to do the helicoils, so we got that done. So now it's just a matter of when I get this back on there. Like I say, every brush hog I've ever seen had the pin come up and had a big ass nut on top. This one, you got these shims, and there's actually two different sizes. There's a thinner one and a thicker one. They go on there first. And you got this piece here. And that goes on like so. And then you got the little clip piece that sits up there. Now I'm gonna get the right way. Goes in the groove, and then on top, and then the bolt goes into the hole that I screwed up. I gotta go find some lock washers here yet, but that's the way that stacks together to hold the blade on. But yeah, like I say, I had the bright idea, because I screwed up the threads on the one side, just drill it out and I'll put a bolt in. Well, like I said, if you put a bolt in, you have a head on the bottom, it interferes with your blade swing, so that ain't gonna work. So, yep, that's the way that all stacks together to hold that pin in. The only problem is, I think I try this other side again. I'm having problems getting, I tried to do that, put the blade on that side to show you guys, but I'm having problems with the pin, and the bolt doesn't want to line up right. I might have to file these out a little bit, because it's cocking the bolt a little bit. I mean, the bolt spins in there easy, so I mean, everything's threaded right, but whether they might have got that helicoil in there just a little bit cocked, that the holes ain't lining all up quite right, and it's just pushing it off enough that it's not catching the threads right. So I might have to, let's see, just oblong that a little bit so it helps it line up, which that ain't gonna be no big of a deal. But yeah, now I gotta get this back in, which is so much fun. We got two keys on the shaft on the gearbox you gotta line up. And then I think I left the damn thing underneath the brush hog. But then you got the bolt that holds, there's a bolt, a bunch of washers that go on the bottom side here to thread up into the gearbox. And then you clamp these down. That's part of the reason why I took this apart originally, because this had a wobble to it. And here I guess either these bolts didn't tighten up enough. I think some junk got in these grooves and wasn't allowing to pinch. I gotta go get some new lock nuts for that too. Probably should put new ones of them on. But like after I get that all on the bottom, this washer goes around the nut that holds, or the bolt that holds this on, and then it gets just, it was tack welded onto right there. And as they say, you get that on the nut in there somewhere, the bolt, and then you tack weld that to hold it somewhere in there. And that's about the ability of my welding anyhow, to put a blob on something to make it hold. So I should be able to do that job. But other than that, should have that all ready to go. Get the head on, I can put the blades on. I gotta find, I know I gotta go get a couple lock washers for that, and see whether I might just double nut that or something, you know, to lock it instead of the lock nuts. Lock nuts should only be used once, they would probably hold, but when I did put them back on, I was turning them on there quite a ways by hand before I needed a wrench too, so they're getting stretched out. And then this will be ready to cut again. I just got to wait for this part to come back. Nice little pretzel there. And if you don't watch what you're doing, you get the front of the cutter nosing in, you hook a woodchuck hole or something. I hooked some. This is the second or third time I've hooked that, and this time I really ripped it right around underneath it. So there's no straightening it this time. I debated. I mean, I like to keep things original as much as I can, and I debated about it because this bracket piece here I think was $110. That rod is just under $10, so it's about $120 without all the chain pieces, which I don't need to order them. I mean, I can, when I get them off, there's nothing wrong with them. But like I say, $120. I debated. I thought I got conveyor belting around here, just put that across the front. But like I say, I like to try to keep things original as much as possible. But if I rip this again, it's going to be conveyor belting. Just something to keep it throwing it to the front. But I don't know if I'm gonna get this today. We got a couple days of good weather here. I finished cutting my hay down in Crawford County here yesterday. I still got about 5 or 6 acres, 7 acres up here to cut. Don't need to. It's gonna be bedding hay or just lay anyhow, but just want to get that done. I should be getting ready to chop my second crop. Sprint's coming on pretty fast. I gotta get that sprayed. But again, I can look at that field a little bit closer. I don't see much weeds coming in, but it's one of them things, yeah, you don't see it now, and in about 2 weeks you got stuff all over the place. So, but yeah, like I say, at least one thing went lucky. I mean, he was pretty hesitant whether we were going to have enough. We drilled them out too big already. We might have to go to 5/8 bolts. But like I say, it looks like they were able to get them in, but like I said, I think that's the one I screwed up completely. So that one might have actually been off enough. It might have went in there a little bit on an angle or something, or I don't know what, but like I say, I stacked all this on that side, and all these holes line up, and then shims again. I can get the bolt through this, no problem with, let's see, this will be on here like this. But when I get this piece in here, then holes off just a little bit, enough that it's actually starting, when I start threading it, starts pivoting this up. So it's binding up there, so like I might have to ream that hole out a little bit and it'll be good to go. So, I mean, like I say, it's pretty decent. So, I mean, that might be a better system than damn big bolts, but that's the way this all goes together. So, thanks for watching. My battery's about dead here for some reason, so I guess I'm going to end it here. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch up with you later.